Alright, welcome guys. Thank you for watching. Alright, so we're gonna go through a few things that showed up. But first, I'm gonna go through the regulars first. So we have 4 new subscribers since my last video. Brian Wilson, Homestead, Solar Power, and Projects. I'm gonna have to check out your channel. It's Da Costa, Stanford. Oh, San I Ford. Sorry about that. Laurent Pythoud. So thank you for subscribing, guys. Now I have a few comments to go through that are pretty good. Mitchell Smelt. So another person pointed out that my Make Sky Blue over here is fake, and that I have to turn it off and turn it back on for settings to take effect. I just like to go through every comment, even if they're reposts. Like, I think that's maybe the 5th or 6th or 7th time someone's told me that, but that's okay. Anyway, so we'll go with James first. He's got some loaded information for us. So right now he has 2 packs of 700 cells. I imagine that's total, not each. And he has 4 amp fuses on each battery. And he's using a 5,000 watt inverter, but he says he'll only use about 2,500 watts, and you do 5,000 for the surge. And he's absolutely right. When you're buying an inverter, like, going double of what you think you'll use is very wise. Like, inverters, they're the most common thing to break. As far as I understand, everything I've seen and read, the inverter's the worst part of off-grid. Because it's, I don't know, there's a lot of switching, it wears out. Anyways, so next time he's going to go with 2 amps. So because he has 2 packs, this is exactly what I'm dealing with. Because he's going, technically we're all modular to a degree, but because he only has 2 packs, he has to do 4 amp fuses in order to be able to utilize his 5,000 watt inverter. But the more packs you put on, the smaller fuses you can go. Let me check this out just a second. Alright, I've dug through my notes. Let's see. Alright, so pretty simple. So I should have put how many watts are used, but if your total draw from your inverter is 50 amps, 200 amps, or 75 amps, and then I did like how many total watts. Oh, okay, I did do it. Okay, so 200 amps is about 4,000 watt inverter, and with 2 of my power walls, can't do it. 100 amps is way too high. 4 walls, it's still too high. I put it down to 25. I'm gonna have to redo this chart, but it was just really quick. So 6 walls is when my power wall starts to be safe at 4,000 watts. So that's why I go with 7 walls, 30 kilowatt hours? Yeah, 30 kilowatt hours, 7 walls. You're at 30 amps, pretty safe. And that's like, that's high drain. Like, that's crazy high drain, you know? There's a lot of stuff we're gonna go through in this video, actually, because James and CRSBT both had quite a bit of information packed into their comments. So anyways, I just wanted to go through that to explain why James would do that for the rest of you to understand. Inverters are really shitty. Like, even the best inverters, they burn out. Probably they're the most common thing to burn out as far as I know. Alright, so yeah, so what he has is he has 200 amps, a 200 amp blow fuse. For him, it would be probably right after the breaker. You'd want the breaker first and then the slow blow. But I mean, technically it doesn't matter. So anyways, he also has a 250 amp breaker as well. Well, the main fuse would blow before the breaker would, wouldn't it? So each pack has this main fuse and a breaker. So he's got 400 amps total. That's pretty damn high. I wonder what the heat buildup is on the batteries. at that rate. Yeah, if you could somehow send me a picture of that, that would be good. You can put it on like a free image upload website. Image upload, you just Google search it, in the first search you just click it and you drag and drop the picture, and then you just post the link, and it's the safest way. He wants to get his sister into solar, and he wants to use grid as a backup. So here's the thing is, there's a minimal base price when you're paying for electricity. So, and it's somewhere around $50, between 30 and $50. So after a certain point, if you can like grid tie so that you're sending electricity onto the grid, that's good, but there's so many regulations for safety reasons, because you could take down the whole power grid if you're just hooking up weird janky parts. So after a certain point, if you get past 10 kilowatt hours and you're never using the grid, I would just, disconnect, unless you're in Florida where they... Okay, have you heard that news in Florida where they send you to jail? There's certain states in the United States, they'll send you to jail for not needing electricity. It's crazy, man. Like being off grid, it's crazy. Okay, anyways, enough of that rant. CRSBT. I'm gonna do that right now. Just. All right, we're filming. All right, so I looked it up. So I assume this is it, the 3024, and it's an inverter, and it seems to also have options that you can put your MPPT is built into the box, if I'm correct, or maybe it's added. So that's what they look like. They're 1 to 5 kilowatt inverters. They also have grid tie features. You can hook them up to a generator. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what it is. So now we know. So that's what a PIP. It's actually pretty nice. I'm going to look into this a bit further. This is a really nice looking system. So anyways, thank you for sharing that, CRSBT. I appreciate that. That's something to look into. So he's looking at buying a low wattage kettle and microwave. Could you explain that a little bit better? How do you get a low wattage kettle or microwave? Like, how do they reduce their power consumption without, losing effectiveness, I guess you could say, like just for boiling water and for cooking food? So that'd be interesting. So he says that the average household consumes about 10 kilowatt hours per day, and he figures about 4 or 5 kilowatt packs should be pretty good. Yeah, absolutely. Like 20 kilowatts is nice. I know that 30 kilowatt hours is like some kind of magical golden goose for most people, because it just, the batteries will last longer. They won't heat up as much in a bad situation. So that's really good. I'll have to hit base with you again, message you, see what's going on, man. Tom Skolik, he said you have to watch when this is a really good point, is wind can be a really bad option if you're in the wrong place. But I want to have a wind turbine and a solar because where I live, it's both sunny and windy, so it's not a big deal. But if you don't get much wind, wind generators are a really bad choice in a lot of ways. They take up a very small amount of real estate, for how much power they make, but only if it's really windy. Solar panels, they take up a ton of real estate, but they have a lifespan of 20 years-ish before they start having problems and lose their effective output. So that's always something important for anyone looking to even get into it. So anyways, that's what the comment's done. So what have I been up to? Well, I got this controller for my daughter for like $4, and it turned out that it had been wearing out, so I had to like do major surgery to get these things apart. Like this ferrite core here. I had to like drill it out, like everything's melted together. Now it just free floats. But yeah, it was pretty easy to just take the whole thing apart. It was a good little exercise. My daughter helped me with it, and got to see how, you know, just because something's broken doesn't mean you throw it out and buy a new one. So yeah, $3 for it. Runs great, and you know, I get to play games. I had to do a lot of modifying. There's a lot of electrical tape down in there. Yeah, but it works perfectly. I'm amazed for $3-4 for pretty good controller. Like it's got a nice see, it's got a nice quick disconnect too. So yeah, pretty happy with that. That was one thing I got up to. Probably just a simple thing. So I still have this guy, or both of them. I'm not sure what to do with these, considering the heat sinks are missing. So, I mean, I'll definitely try them out. See, it's 16 to 28 volts, and my battery packs go up to 29.4, so I'll have to drain the batteries down to like 28 and then plug it in. Because I could use a CCCV, but it's 300 watts, and I don't think I have a 300 watt. No, I'm going to have to buy another buck converter, a much bigger one. Speaking of buck converters, moving on, this is a buck converter. Can you believe it? This thing is huge. This thing, so I bought this thing. It was a lot of money. It's so this is a buck converter, and it converts like 36 volts between like I'm gonna have to look at the specs just a second. Okay, so I've got it up on the screen. That's model number. So 18 to 35 volts bucked down to 12 volts. And it's a pretty clean 12 volt, like 0.5%. I'll have to put my oscilloscope on it, do some pretty intense testing. I think it's 120 amp draw. It seems to make sense based off these other numbers. 1440 watts. I don't know what these other numbers are. Let's see. Oh yeah, efficiency. Yeah, it's like 95% efficient. There's some that are 97. It's interesting. Ripple and noise. MVP to peak to peak. Millivolts peak to peak. So really good efficiency. 12 volts, 150 millivolts off of 12 volts. So it looks very promising. The weight of it, so this thing weighs, what, weight, 3,300 grams. Okay, whatever that means. It's heavy, man. Oh, it's heavy. Like, this thing will hold down the fort. But super simple. 3 wires. Yeah, good. Pretty good. What did I pay for it? That's the real question. And why would you want it? Well, I think you guys can tell right away. Yeah, so I paid $200 for it. Yep. A bit more than that, actually. I paid a bit more than $200 because there's also $24 in tariffs. Thanks a lot. But yeah, it's pretty crazy. Look at that. 120 amps draw. Crazy, eh? That's heavy. And this is the relay that I bought. So in one of my previous videos I complained about, and I said, like, I'm screwed, like I waste my money. Well, check this out. These damn Chinese people, 110 volts, 50 hertz. We go off a 60 hertz system, but whatever, it doesn't actually matter. It's just an electromagnet. But yeah, it isn't 220 volts, and it seems to have all the connectors to be a double throw. Yeah, it looks like it. I'm gonna have to map it out. there's a lot of, this is the box it came in. Looks like a rip-off of Eaton's, like a horrible rip-off of their color code. That's the Chinese for you. There's some kind of diagram down in here. There's a lot of information, but literally all of it's in Chinese. Yeah, there it is. It's down in there. But I'm just gonna do my own wiring diagram. Look at that. What a piece of junk. But it was only 14 bucks, so why am I complaining? These things go for like, if I bought this, I calculated out, I went to an actual electrician warehouse, and it's like 50 bucks for one of these. I've also bought many of these in the past for my dad's shop. He has a lot of woodworking lathes and stuff, so I do the electrical for him, and I've had to... Did this thing just break? This thing just broke. Wow. That's some good quality. Are you kidding me? Wow. Get what you pay for, gentlemen. How was that supposed to hold anything down? Look, it was one of the bracket legs. Wow. That is some good quality stuff. Well, actually, it doesn't matter. It's just annoying because this goes on a rail, right? This whole unit, it clips onto a rail, and you pop it up with your screwdriver. But anyway, so that came in the mail. I don't have anything else, but this video still took forever. Sorry about that. Yeah, I don't have anything else. I'm going to do some testing, so I'll have to hook this up to an oscilloscope just to be safe, because I am going to be... You can see the value of this though, right guys? You can drop down a 24 volt system to a 12 volt system. So you could run your, you could run your house on 12 volt light bulbs instead of buying expensive 24 volt light bulbs. So you could run your whole house using this and 12 volt light bulbs, like hopefully LED light bulbs all through your house. And these things, like this one, I paid like 200 bucks, but with LED light bulbs, there's no way you'd use like over 1,400 watts for just light bulbs. So, and they have a lot of different models and makes of these things, right? They have all these different options, right? So yeah, it's pretty cool. It can handle between what is it, 18 and 35 volts. Let's double check that. I don't know why, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. 18 and 35, so yeah, pretty sweet. And yeah, run, like that's one use. I'm gonna be using it like it's very clean, straight 12 volts, so I wouldn't recommend it for using it with an inverter, like a 12 volt inverter. Don't recommend that at all, because this is you lose 5% of your energy through heat dissipation of this unit, which is really efficient, but you wouldn't go from this into an inverter. That's really foolish. 12 volt inverters are not recommended if you're running a 24 volt system, even if you're bucking it down, because a lot of 12 volt inverters, they run best, in my opinion, at 14 volts. So the higher the voltage, the more efficient. That's why a lot of companies use 48 volt and higher inverters and battery systems. So yeah, anyways, hope you liked the video. Keep up the comments, like, comment, subscribe. I really appreciate it, guys. One of the things, I forget which, if it was James or CRSBT that just thanked me for taking people's comments seriously and just reading them back. And yeah, I'm one of you guys. I follow other YouTubers and I comment, and I just I feel like it's a lot better to reply to people's comments in a video, because if I just reply to your comment in the comment section, like I know you're saying like people don't even read the comments, but this is a blog of sorts. Follow me in my horrible journey of buying expensive sketchy Chinese parts. But I know it's enjoyable for you, and I really appreciate your feedback. It really helps me out. But we're hitting 20 minutes again, so have a good day, guys. Thank you so much. Bye.